Alright, welcome to the last lesson of Chapter 1, Graphing in the First Quadrant. So our last lesson we just did was fill in equations. And so we're going to graph them now, because eventually we're going to graph equations. We're not quite there yet. That will come later. Okay, and then we have a test, and then you'll move on to Chapter 2. So today you'll be able to label the origin, the x-axis and y-axis on a coordinate plane, and plot an ordered pair in a coordinate plane. So you have lots of vocabulary, so it's important you're following along. The first word we're going to do is coordinate plane. That starts with a C. Coordinate plane with a C. Okay, and that's page 3. It's down at the bottom. It says a grid that is made up of two axes, or axes. Okay, so that's a coordinate plane. Just two lines that cross, and they meet at 90 degrees. So a personal connection would be longitude and latitude. I know I was helping someone with their geography work the other day, and it was exactly a coordinate plane. You had to go left and right, and then up and down, and you had to find like 45 degrees north and 30 degrees east. Okay, so that would be longitude, latitude. All right, next one is going to be the x-axis. So we're going way to the back to the x. And that is on page 21. For x-axis. Page 21, we're on x. Okay, so x-axis is the horizontal axis in a coordinate plane. So here I drew a coordinate plane, and I circled the x-axis. That's the x-axis there. And that's like running left to right. Now we're going to flip this over to page 22 to the y's. We're on y. We're going to do y-axis. So that's the vertical axis in a coordinate plane. So that's this guy that goes up and down. And that's like a vertical jump, like in basketball. Okay, next we have O. So find your O. And that is on page 13. Okay, we have two O's. We have an ordered pair. And then we have origins. We're on O's, ordered paired. That is page 13. Okay, so academic definition is, that was a screw up there, don't try that. A specific location on a coordinate plane. Okay, so for example, we have xy, and that could look like 3, -2, or -6, 12. There's always a comma separating the x and the y, and there's always parentheses. That tells us it's an ordered pair. Okay, personal connection. I'm at McDonald's in Waite Park. If I say that, most of you know exactly which McDonald's I'm at. Okay, so these ordered pairs give me an exact location, similar to where if I say I'm at McDonald's in Waite Park, lots of you know what I mean by that. Okay, and then origin, just moving over to the right there. Origin is where the two axes intersect, and it's always at 0, 0, because it's the starting point. So where the two axes intersect here, right in the middle, that's 0, 0. Okay, right here. Okay, and that origin is a starting point. Okay, so it's where both of them, where we start counting. Okay, so there's lots of places where you like originate. I originated from Watertown, Minnesota, because that's where I was born. So origin is like the word originate. All right, moving on to your notes. All right, so we have for building background. There you go. We're going to diagram the following movements of Miss Sawyer. Miss Sawyer took 5 steps to the right, and then she went 3 steps up. So here's her starting point, also known as like an origin. Okay, she went 5 steps to the right. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now she's here. Okay, but then she went 3 steps up. So we're going to go up. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a star there. She kind of ended up in those words. That is where Miss Sawyer is now. Okay, and that's kind of what we're thinking today. We're going to be moving over and up and down. Okay, so for these problems, what's kind of hard is I kind of have to zoom out. So it might be hard. Oh, just kidding, I don't have to. You can see everything. Okay, step 1. says label the coordinate plane with the terms x-axis, y-axis, and origin. So make sure we're using our definitions. So x-axis is the one that goes left and right. So this is x-axis. Okay, the y-axis goes up and down. So this guy here is the y-axis, that line. Okay, and the origin is right here. It's right where the two meet. Okay. Step 2, we're now going to label the x and the y axis, and it's important that we remember to label the lines. So when we count here, it's like a number. This is really a number line. That's what these axes are, number lines. So this first one here is 1. Then the next line is 2. This line here is 3. And count the lines. This line is 4. This line is 5. This line is 6. This line is 7. This line is 8. This line is 9. And then our last line would be 10, but I'm not going to label that because that's where I put x-axis. Okay, and then same thing going up. We're labeling these lines. So this line here is 1. This line here is 2. This line here is 3. Right here is 4. Remember, we're labeling the lines. This line is 5. This line is 6. This line is 7. This line is 8. And this line is 9. And then the top line is 10. Okay, so that was number 2. So number 3, we're going to plot the following points. Label each number as x or y, and we're going to make a note of the directions each coordinate gives you. So in this one here, we have 3, 2. So this is my x, and this is my y. My x always tells us to move left or right, and my y tells us to move up or down. So I'm going to go right 3, and then I'm going to go up 2. That's what that tells me to do. So starting at the origin, I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, and then up 1, 2. So I put a point there, and I'm going to label it A. So I put an A next to it. Okay. B says 6, 6. So this is the x, and this is the y. The first number tells me to go right 6, and then it tells me to go up 6. So from the origin, I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a point there, and we're going to label that B. 4, 9. So that's my x is 4, and my y is 9. X tells me to go right 4. My y is now telling me to go up 9. So I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is point C. I know it's point C because it has C out front. Okay, D says 0, 5. So that tells me to go right 0, meaning don't move. Okay, and then my Y, I forgot to label that X, Y, tells me to go up 5. So don't move, that means 0, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually on the y-axis, and that's point D. Okay? E, 8, 2. So that's my x and my y. So that tells me to go right 8, up 2. I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then up 1, 2. And that is point E. Alright, last one is F. I have X, Y. My X is 1, so that tells me to go right 1. My Y tells me to go up 0, so don't move when it's a 0. So I'm going to go right 1, and then don't go up, so stay right there. And that is point F. Okay, last one. Summary says we plot points by using the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. So that's the x and the y. Okay? We always start with the x. The x-coordinate tells us to move left and right, which right now we're only moving right. And the y-coordinate tells us to move up and down. So right, why did I make that line so small? Right now you're only moving up. Okay, and that is it for now. And you're done with chapter 1. Woohoo! Do the practice and then you can take the test. Woo!